Hey guys, this is Ms. Mayo here, and I'm going to show you guys how to navigate JSTOR. I'm actually going directly from our database section under Finding Resources under the Tambo paper LibGuide. So if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, the JSTOR database would be there. JSTOR is actually our college level database. It has publications from various journals that are all humanities based. So you will find great articles here about history, and they are all academic. So in order for you to log in, you would just go to log into my account. I'm already logged in. The password, the username is going to be Verona HS, and the password is going to be research. So once you log in, you're going to have a couple of options in order to search. The first one is going to be a simple search, which I don't really recommend for you guys at this point, since you already have a specific topic. You can advanced search. You can also browse by different topics, and it'll actually JSTOR, if you browse by a subject, it'll give you articles recommended for your subject. So that's also an option as well, if you find that you're not really finding anything through advanced search. For example, so if I were to do a simple search about, let's just say, Civil War nurses, it's going to give me the option to search by author, by title, or by publication name, but I'm just searching by keyword. If I were to type this in right now, I would get over 27,000 results, which is not necessarily something we want to start off with. So in order to avoid that, if we just go to advanced search and we type in Civil War. So these are going to be your fields. Your fields are your keywords that you are going to be searching based off of, and also in what context you're going to be searching. So I'm typing in Civil War as a phrase. I'm putting it in quotations so that the computer, the account recognizes that I want it to be searched together. And then I would do nurses. I can add multiple fields. So if I wanted to do another field, for example, if I wanted to avoid research about hospitals, I can do not hospitals. But just for the time being, I just want to see what I would get with Civil War and with nurses. There's going to be a couple of other options that you can do in order to search. I would start off with something broad, and then as you're finding information, narrow it down and then change your keywords to get new results. So for example, nurses might be medical professionals. Civil War might be 1800s. So just keep changing your words around, because JSTOR is going to be a little bit more challenging to search than any other database that you guys are used to. So you're going to select an access type. You want to make sure that you are accessing only things that you can read and download. If you find something that's read online only, that's fine, but you want to make sure that you're able to read it. There is content on JSTOR that we do not have access to, so it would probably be very frustrating if you found something you liked and you couldn't access it. Another thing that you can narrow by articles. There's also book reviews, so you might want to avoid those. We do have full text books. You might find a research report, pamphlets, all sorts of other primary sources that are available here. I wouldn't necessarily worry about the date range unless historical relevance is something that you guys are looking at. And you could also, which might be interesting for you since JSTOR is so varied, you can also filter it by your journal. So for example, if I'm looking for Civil War and nurses, I might want to go into history of science and technology. I might want to just narrow down my search results by those specific journals if I'm finding that I'm getting a lot of like weird random articles. So if I scroll back up and I click search, now, these are only going to be articles that have both the word Civil War and nurses, and they're articles that we have access to. Obviously, it's still a lot, but it's a lot less than 42,000. We only have about 6,000 articles here. You can sort by relevance. if you're looking at time-wise, if you're looking at different articles, if you wanted to search by something that's a little bit more current or a little bit older, you could show snippets of the articles. You can also see subtopics. So without even having to read an abstract, which is a summary of an article, you can see what the article is about. So which would be interesting to note. So then that way you're not necessarily reading an entire article. You can narrow it down by subject. So if I was looking at, so for example, this is a book review. A Woman at the Front, Hospital Workers of Civil War America. So I don't necessarily want a book review, and JSTOR is going to give you a lot of these, so just be careful. But what might be interesting is if this is a book that is relevant to my topic, I might want to go ahead and look for it in a library database, or possibly look for it online. So if I find an article that I believe would work for my topic, so I'm looking at this first one. So I know this is telling me that it's a journal article. So it's coming from a professional publication. It's from the American Journal of Nursing, and it's giving me the volume and the number and the year that it was published. So if I click on that, there's a couple of tools here that might be important. The first one is going to be, it'll give me the actual article. And since it's published in, looks like 1928, it's not going to be digitized. It's going to be the original article. So if I want to save this article, what I would do is I would click download PDF. I would accept JSTOR's terms and conditions. It'll give me a PDF of the article. It's just taking a little longer. And then at the top, do you see where the arrow is, the download arrow? Then I could save my files either on my desktop or my downloads, or I could save them in Google Drive. I can possibly even have a folder dedicated to this topic. Another thing that might be interesting to take a look at is the journal info. So this gives you just a summary of what this journal is about, and also cite this item. The cite this item is going to give you a summary or it's actually going to give you the original citation. So since you guys are doing a history paper, you are going to cite in Chicago. You can also, if you're using EasyBib, you can export it. You can just simply copy and paste it into a document. I highly recommend that you keep track of your citations, because eventually you're going to have to do an annotated bibliography. And the fact that these databases do it for you is really cool. Another feature that JSTOR has that is actually pretty new is that it actually gives you articles about the same exact topic, which is really awesome. So you don't necessarily have to go looking again. And then once you download a PDF, it actually gives you topics that are related to your topic. So that's another cool feature that JSTOR has. So I highly recommend whenever you use JSTOR that you do an advanced search first. And then if that doesn't necessarily work, try to browse by subject. And if you have any questions, just let me know.